Call of Duty points are now in Infinite Warfare. If you want the best way to get free Call of Duty points, click the link down in the description, install the app, and start getting yourself some free Call of Duty points today. Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin, and welcome back to another Call of Duty Infinite Warfare video. Now this video is going to be another episode of my Epic Weapons of Infinite Warfare series, and today we're talking about a gun that I've wanted to make a video on for a while, and this is the Raw Liberty. It's the epic version of the Raw LMG, which is a very, very strong LMG. Honestly, this is probably one of the best LMGs in the history of Call of Duty through any Call of Duty game. This gun is absolutely awesome, and this video will be, of course, talking about the epic version, saying if it's worth that 4,000 salvage and all that sort of stuff. So if you guys will enjoy this video, if you guys can, I would appreciate if you guys could all drop a like on this thing. Of course, 2,000 likes would be the goal. Also subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And this series with all the epic weapons of Infinite Warfare is sponsored by Free My Apps. If you guys want to get yourself some free COD points yourself, link to that is down in the description. Guys, go ahead and check out that link, click that link, and start earning yourself some free Call of Duty points, and let's get right into it. So this Raw LMG is a very, very good LMG. I came out at probably in about November saying this was one of the best guns in the game, and it did get a little bit of a nerf on December 9th. Exactly, I have the patch notes right up here from December 9th, and the nerf that it got was the Raw has increased hip spread as well as a slight recoil increase. This nerf wasn't that big of a deal. Worse hip fire on the gun doesn't really matter. If you're hip firing with an LMG, you're already in quite a pickle and you're probably going to die anyway, so that doesn't really matter that much. And the other one, slight recoil increase, it does affect it a little bit. This thing has a tiny bit of kick, but it's still, like, you know, it's not as no recoil as the NV4, but it definitely doesn't have a lot of kick at all compared to your other LMGs. Like the Mauler actually doesn't have that much, but the Titan has quite a bit of recoil. This Raw is still very, very powerful even after this nerf. I'd say it took it from being the best gun in the game, but it's still definitely a top 5 or a top 3 gun, and this thing is absolutely awesome as an LMG. Now, what the epic version gives you is, I will show it up on the screen right now. The epic version is the Raw Liberty. It gives you a Make It Rain, double magazine size but can no longer reload, and haste, slightly increased movement speed. Now, this is very interesting. Some people might, you know, be reading this and say this sounds good. Some people might be reading this and say this sounds bad, and I'm going to explain my thoughts on each of these. So the first one is Make It Rain, double magazine size but can no longer reload. So as you guys can see from this gameplay, I believe you start off with 160 bullets in this thing, but once you hit 0, I've never hit 0 ammo before, but I believe your gun is just done. Like you're out of ammo completely. You don't have anything stowed away, which can kind of suck, but basically 160 ammo is quite a bit, and if you go on such a big streak, usually you'll be able to just pick up other guns. That's what I found. 160 bullet usually can last me, you know, 7, 8, 9, even 10 kills, and even if I do run out of ammo, I can just pick up another gun on the map, which is not that big of a deal. But however, the gun cannot reload, so you got to watch your ammo, and usually once I start getting down below 50 ammo, I focus on picking up another gun. It is kind of cool though, because one, you don't need to run dexterity. I wouldn't run dexterity with this LMG anyway, but because of this, there's just absolutely no point to run dexterity, so that it leaves open spots for what I would run, which would be Ghost as well as Blast Shield. That's pretty cool as well. And you have double the magazine size, so you don't need to run extended mags, and you'll never have an issue with reloading. Now, the other thing with this is basically, you guys can see I start with 160 bullets or whatever, but I have no ammo stored away, which means man-at-arms isn't as helpful on this variant. However, I still would choose to run man-at-arms, because what it does basically has a double purpose, and what man-at-arms is it is the trait under the combat rig, the Merc. I obviously run reactive armor as well as man-at-arms. I think this is the best combat rig in the game. I pretty much run it on most of my classes, probably 80%, 70%. But what's good about this is, of course, having that extra ammo doesn't matter at all. It gives you nothing on this gun because you have no ammo stowed away. But what it does do is basically it allows you to still move at full movement speed, and that's why I think man-at-arms is still required, because what that does is it allows you to move with an LMG like you're moving with your fists out, which is absolutely crazy. And you stack that with the other bonus you get out of this prototype, which is the haste, slightly increased movement speed, and you are literally flying around the map with an epic weapon, an epic LMG, which is really, really cool. And I definitely do like this epic version. I think this is the best variant of the Raw, although the one downfall is, of course, that you can run out of ammo with it and you have to pick up guns. But 160 bullets is good enough for me, and I'm a person that likes to go on streaks. So if you're someone that doesn't go on, you know, super big streaks, it shouldn't be an issue at all. And even if you are, all you got to do is pick up a secondary. It's not that big of an issue. This gun kills in literally 3 to 4 bullets. So 160 bullets, you're going to be able to get a bunch of kills with this thing, and that's absolutely awesome. Now, is this gun worth the 4,000 salvage? In my opinion, yes. It's not the best epic of all time, but it's a great epic on a super overpowered gun. And the other variants of this gun aren't that good. I think the other one that I run is the legendary, which basically has the thing where every 3 kills you get an extra perk, which I like the sound of that one when I first heard about it, because it reminded me of the Specialist from Modern Warfare 3. However, that thing is just not as cool as it claims to be. Every 3 kills you get yourself an extra perk, but it pops up in the very bottom corner. It's hard to see, and honestly, once you have a good class setup, you don't really need that many other perks with this thing. I definitely do think this is the best version of the Raw, and the Raw is still a very, very usable gun. And if you guys are a fan of the LMGs at all, which I think you should be, if you're not a fan of the LMGs, you should definitely test them out using this man-at-arms thing. This gun is absolutely awesome. Now, the class setup I use with it is just the standard class setup for LMGs. Really, really simple stuff. Quick draw, stock, silencer, ghost, blast shield, hardline, and then marksman. Very simple stuff with this gun. You should not run scavenger because obviously that doesn't affect it. You got to make sure you're running things that do affect this gun. For example, some people may think it's really good to stack momentum on top of your already increased movement speed and all that sort of stuff, which it can be, but I believe momentum is not as effective once you're already moving super fast. And they changed this probably 2 weeks into the game because people were doing some stuff. They were using variants like this, which will give you increased movement speed. Then they were stacking that with combat burst, which gives you extra movement speed when you get a kill, and momentum, and people were literally just flying around the map at twice speed or like 1.5 times speed. So they nerfed all that, basically allowing you can stack all these movement things together, but it's not going to give you as big of a bonus as it would before. And that's basically the same way like that combat burst, it doesn't give you as big of a bonus for SMGs as it would with like an LMG or an assault rifle. A lot of the movement speed enhancers in this game need to be tested out and all work differently with different sort of class setups. I'd recommend just playing a standard sort of class up with this thing. Make sure you're not running anything that is useless on this gun because it is sort of a weird style. One other thing I believe, I'm not sure, I haven't tested this out myself, but my buddy Swag told me you can run fusion mags on this thing and it will actually regen your ammo for you. So I'm not sure if that's true or not. I think he said he was pretty sure about it, but I'm not sure. Basically what it would do is, as you guys can see, this gun is an energy gun, so usually it's regenning ammo. However, on this variant, it doesn't seem to regen ammo at all. So I'm not sure if throwing fusion mags will allow you to regen ammo again, or if it won't at all. That's all, to be tested. However, I don't really know what you would give up. Honestly, on this gun, you need quick draw. It's an LMG. You need stock. It's an LMG. Again, it's slow moving, and that's why I have a lot of stuff to speed it up. And silencer just works perfectly with this thing. Another thing is a lot of people won't, I run marksman as my third perk, and a lot of people probably won't like the iron sights on this gun. I like them a lot at first, but right now I'm starting to feel, I'm starting to get turned off a little bit by them. It is kind of a weird iron sight, and I would recommend, if you guys don't like it, it's not a big deal at all. Take away your third perk and throw on a sight. That's what I do with all my sort of stuffs. Third perks in this game can be helpful. Marksman and hardwired are pretty decent and dead silence, but they're not 100% required. You can completely live without them, and it's better to have a gun that you're comfortable with. And that's why, on guns where I like the elo sight or where I like the reflex sight, I've just been taking off my third perk. For example, on my NV4, my nuke class, my deatomizer class, I just take away marksman and just throw on the elo sight because I feel a bit more comfortable with that. And that's basically how I rock with that variant and with all that sort of stuff. So it's all up to personal preference. However, if you guys are a fan of LMGs, I don't think it gets better than this one. The Epic Mauler is really good, the Mauler Mammoth. The Legendary Mauler is really good, but this Epic Raw is just absolutely dominant. You guys can see from these games, these were like 2 of the first games I played with this thing. Obviously playing Genesis 24/7, I got a 57 kill TDM and a 47 kill TDM or something like that, which is pretty good, averaging 50 kills a game, which is half of my team's kills. Not too shabby for TDM on a map like Genesis, where it's not too hard for the teammates to get kills. On the bigger maps is probably where you're going to get more kills in TDM because teammates are having a harder time finding the enemies if you know rush routes and stuff like that. This Genesis playlist is pretty fun. However, it is just TDM all the time like I talked about, but this is definitely the best way to level up. Hopefully Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys could drop a like on this thing, 2,000 likes is going to be the goal. I know you guys like this epic weapon series, so I'd appreciate if you guys could support it and smack up 2,000 likes on that thing. Like I said earlier, if you guys want to get yourself some free Call of Duty points, link for that is down in the description. Be sure to go check that out on your phones, guys. And also be sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Subscribe for a cookie, and don't looky. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great night, and I'm out. Peace.